The next contender in our countdown of extreme bloodsuckers puts a new twist on the story of the Beauty and the Beast. After all, what other animal is as beautiful and totally harmless as the butterfly? There are more than 28,000 different species of butterfly, and most of them delicately sip nectar from flowers, using the coiled straw called a proboscis. But in Spain, there's one butterfly that holds a dark secret. The madroño butterfly has a thirst for blood. This vampire butterfly is number 9 in the countdown because in addition to sipping nectar from flowers, it drinks the blood of dead animals. This extraordinary behavior has only recently been discovered, so very little is understood about how this butterfly changed from sipping nectar to sucking up the fluids of dead and decaying bodies. This vampire is also unusual because its victims are already dead. Most vampires prefer to suck on the blood of the living. Especially the most famous vampire of all, Count Dracula. The vampire legend began in Eastern Europe, where blood-sucking creatures were once thought to be the souls of the dead that rose from the grave and wandered about the night to drink blood from the living. The vampire tradition survives today. The dark streets of New Orleans are home to a modern vampire, Tony Parker.
I've been a vampire most of my life. I would actually say since I was about 6. You're more or less born into it. It picks you. You don't pick to be one. I've bitten about 5 people. It was totally consensual. Usually we dated and either lived together or were just long-term partners. What people believe vampires are, the way they dress, the way they live, the way they are, the things that they do, it's completely out of the ordinary. And that is pretty much the way I live, actually. It's not what anybody would consider normal.
Being a vampire means much more than just wearing a cape. It's a state of mind. Modern vampires seek to emulate Count Dracula's lifestyle of detached elegance. They embrace death as a fact of life and resist all social pressures to conform to normality. And of course, vampires are strictly nocturnal, which is why Tony only works at night, offering personally guided tours of the city's rich vampire heritage.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to New Orleans and to the vampire capital of the world. I am Tony and I will be your vampire for the evening. This way. The highlight of the tour would have to be the ending. Once we've finished and we've told everyone the stories and the facts and the history, the looks on their faces, some are shocked, some are amazed, some are appalled, and some of them are so intrigued that we know that they're going to be back. And those may be the ones that are what we are. They just don't know it yet.
It's hard to know what it would take to become a vampire. After all, who would have believed that something as beautiful as a butterfly would develop a craving for blood? If only the other vampires in the countdown were as good looking. Our first 2 contenders have barely dipped their toes